Hello everyone, today we are going to see how to do CRUD operation in Android using Kotlin language. Now CRUD operation means create, update, read and delete the data from the database. So today we are going to do insert, update and delete operation on database in Android using Kotlin language. Now connect with us on Instagram so you will get the tech knowledge every day. Now today we are going to learn how to create database, how to create helper class. After that we will create the table and we will see how to select the data from table and we will do insert, update and delete operation on the table, and at the end I will also share the best practice to do the database task in Android. So this tutorial will be bit larger, so watch the tutorial till end, and if you like the tutorial don't forget to subscribe our channel and do comment. So let's begin. Here I have created new blank project. Now first we will learn how to create database in Android. For that we will create one helper class. So here we will create new package name as database, and in this package we will create one class file name as database helper. Now here we will take one argument and we will extend SQLite open helper, and in this bracket we have to pass 4 arguments. First we have to pass the context, after that we have to pass the database name. Now let's create one variable which holds the database name. So write companion object. Now what is companion object? So companion object is a way to initialize the variable while creating the object of this class. So we will write private val db underscore name equal to. So in this tutorial we are going to build one app that manages the task. We will add the task. After completing the task we will delete the task. So I will give the database name as task. After that we will specify the version of database. So write db underscore version and we will set the version as a 1. So here we will pass the database name. After that we have to pass the factory. We will pass the factory as null because we don't want to handle the override method. After that we have to pass the database version. So we will give the variable db underscore version. So we have passed all the arguments. Now this will show the error because we have not implemented these two methods. So simply implement this method. Now here we will create more objects for our table. So write private table name equal to, here we will pass the table name. So I will give as a task list, and here I will forget to write val keyword. Now we have to specify the column of this table. So write private val id equal to id. The first column is id. After that we will specify the second column as a task name. So write task underscore name equal to task name. After that we will store the detail of the task. So write private val task underscore details equal to task details. So here I have write the table name and all the column names. Now let's create the table. So when we call this database helper class, it will execute on create method. So here we will execute the create query of our table. So write val create table equal to, and here we have to pass the query of creating table. So we will write create table. After that concat the table name variable, or we can also do this thing by thing interpolation. Now if you don't know what is thing interpolation, comment below, so I will make the tutorial on it. After that here we have to specify the columns. So the first column is id, which is the type of integer and it is a primary key. After that we have to create the another column of task name. So write task name, which is the type of text, and at the end we will create the column of task details, which is the type of text. So we have write the query of create the table. Now if you don't know how to create table, how to create the database and the CRUD operation in SQL, then comment below. I will make the tutorial on it. So we have write the query. Now we have to execute the query. So for executing query, we have to use this object. So write p0 dot execute SQL, and here we will pass the create table variable. So it will create the table. Now this will show the error because we have not done the nullable safe. So we have created the table in our database. Now I want to set that if this table is created, so whenever we upgrade the database, I want to drop my database and create the new database. So write val drop table equal to, here we will write the query for drop the table. Drop table if exist, and here we will pass the table name. After that we will execute the query. So write execute SQL, and here we will pass the drop table variable. After that we will call the onCreate method. So it will create the table. You can do as per your choice. So till now we have created the database and we have also created the table. I hope you understand this logic. Now we will write the function for our CRUD operation. For that we have to create one model class which is used to hold our data. So here I will create one another package named as model, and in this model we will create another class named as task list model. Now we have 3 columns. So I will write id colon integer equal to 0. After that we will write the name as a string, and we have a detail column. So write details, which is the type of string, and we will also pass as a null. So I have created the model class. Now we will see how to write the function for our CRUD operation. So we will see how to fetch the data from our table. So write fun get all task. It will return the list, which is the type of task list model. Now here we have to create the array of task list model. So write val task list equal to array list, and which is the type of task list model. Now whenever we want the data from table, we have to open the database in writable database. So we will write val db equal to writable database. Now we can perform all the tasks using this db object. Now we will write our query like select query equal to select tar from table name. Now if you don't know this, then I will tell you, this is the string interpolation. Whenever we write the dollar, it will take the actual value of this variable. After that we have to create one cursor. Now cursor will hold our data from the database. So write val cursor equal to db dot row query, and in this bracket we have to pass our select query, and in this selection arguments we will pass null. Now our data is held in this cursor. So we will check if cursor is not equal to null, then we will fetch the data. So write if cursor dot move to first. Now when we call move to first object, it will perform 2 tasks. First, it will check that our query returns the empty set or actual data, and second, it will move the cursor to the first result. Now in this bracket we will perform do while loop, because first we have to get the data, after we have to check that the data is available. If data is available, we have to store the data. So write do val task equal to task list model, and we will store the data. So write task dot id equal to integer dot parse int, and here we will get the data cursor dot get string, and here we will write cursor dot get column index, and we will pass the column name. So our id will store in this model. Now same as above, we will store the name. So write task dot name equal to cursor dot get string, and in this bracket we will pass cursor dot get column index, and here we will pass the column name, and at the end we will take the detail. So write task.detail equal to cursor.getString, and here we will write cursor.getColumnIndex, and we will pass the column name. Now at the end we will add this object to our task list. So write task list.add, and in this bracket we will pass the task list object. So it will add the object to our task list array. And here we will check the condition that if cursor has more data, then we will continue this loop. So we will call the function move to next. So it will move from first data to the next data. I hope you will understand this logic, that how we can select all the data from the table. At the end we will close the cursor. So write cursor.close, and we will return the task list array. So when we call this function, it will give all the data from our table. Here we have forgot one bracket. So we have done with the select operation. Now we will see how to insert data in the table. See, first we create all the function of CRUD operation, so you can understand properly. After that I will also show you how to call this function and how to perform all the tasks. So watch the video till end. Now here we will do insert operation. So write fun add task, and we will take the argument as a task list model, and we will return the boolean that if the data is inserted or not. If data is not inserted, we will return false, else we will return true. Now when we want to insert the data, we have to create the object of database in writable mode. So write val db equal to this.writable database. So we have created the object of database. Now we have to take the values. So write values equal to content values. So we have created the object of value. Now we will put the values. So write values.put, and here first we have to pass the column name. So column name is the task underscore name, and we have to pass the data. So our data is task.name. So it will put the data in this particular column. Now we will put the another data like values.put, and our another data is task details, and here we will pass the value task.details. Now we don't have to put the id in these values because id is auto generated and it is a primary key. Now we have to perform the insert query. So write val success equal to db.insert, and here we will pass the table name. After that we have to pass the null, and after that we have to pass the values. So it will insert the data and it will return the long type. Now this will insert the data in our table. Now we will close the database object, and we will return if data is inserted, we will return true, else we will return false. For that, here we will check that data is inserted or not. So write integer.parseInt, and here we will pass the success variable, and we will check if is not equal to -1, then we have inserted the database, else our data is not inserted. Now it is the best practice to create the database object in the top, and when we have performed all the tasks, at the end we have to close the database object. So we have created the insert method. Now we have to select the data of a particular ID. So I will write the comment here that select the data of particular ID. So we will create the function for it. So write fun get task, and in this bracket we will take the argument of ID. So it is a type of integer, and it will return the task list model because we have only one record with this specific ID. Now we have to create the object of task list model. So write task equal to task list model. Now we have to create the object of database. So write db equal to writable database. After that we have to write the query. We will store the query in our select query variable. So here we will write select star from table name where id equal to id, which we will take by this argument. Now we will create the object of cursor. This method is exactly similar like the select task, but the change is that we will pass the where condition in this select query. db.row query, and here we will pass select query. After that we will pass null. Now here we will set the cursor to our first data. So move to first. After that we will store the data. Now I will not type all the stuff, just copy this and paste it here. And at the end we will write cursor.close and we will return the task list model. So we have done this method. So till now we have select all the data from the table. After that we have seen how to insert the data in our table, and here we have seen how to select the data of particular ID. Now we will see how to delete the data from the table. So write fun delete task, and in this bracket we will take the ID and we will return boolean. If data is deleted, we will return true, else we will return false. Now here we will write val db equal to this dot writable object. After that we will create one object for our writing query. So write success equal to db dot delete. Here we have to pass the table name. After that we have to pass the condition that which data we have to delete it. So we have to delete the data of this particular ID. So we will write id equal to id concat with equal to question mark, and at the end we will pass the array of underscore id dot toString. So here we have done that if user pass the id 3, it will delete the data of id 3. If user pass the id 1, then it will remove the data of id 1. Now this will return the integer type, and we want the long type, so we will convert to long data type. And at the end we will close the database and we will return integer dot parseInt, and we will check that if this success variable is not equal to -1, then our task is executed, else our data is not deleted. I hope you have understand this logic. Now we have done the delete task operation. Now at the end we will see how to update the row. So write fun update task, and in this bracket we will pass task colon task list model, and we will return the type of boolean. Now here we will create the object of database. So write this dot writable database. After that we will create the object of values. So write contact values. Now update function is like the add function, but it has the small change, values dot put, and here we have to pass the column name. So our column name is task name, and after that we have to pass the data. Now same as above, we will store the details. So write task underscore details, and here we will get the data. Now we will execute the query. So write val success equal to db dot update, and here we have to pass the table name. After that we have to pass the values. After that we have to pass the condition that we have to update the data of this particular ID. So write id concat with equal to and question mark, and here we will pass the ID. So write array of task dot id dot toString, and we will convert to the too long. At the end we will close the database and we will check if our data is updated, then we will return true, else we will return false. So we have done the CRUD operation in this DB helper class. I hope you have understand this logic. If you have any query, DM us on Instagram or comment below. If you like our tutorial, don't forget to subscribe our channel and do support. Now we will bind this task in our layout. So in this tutorial we are not covering the design part. To add the task in database, I have created one activity named as activity underscore add underscore task. In this activity I have taken one edit text to enter the name and the second edit text to enter the details of the task, and I have taken two buttons. First button is used to add the value and second button is used to delete the record. And I have created one main activity which will show all the tasks which we have inserted in the database. Now for that I have used the recycle view, and below this I have taken one button which will move us to the add task activity. Let's create one adapter to display our database in the recycle view. For that I will create one package named as adapter, and in this adapter I will create one Kotlin class named as task list adapter. Now if you want to learn how recycle view works, how we will bind the adapter in detail, then comment below. I will make the tutorial on it. Now here we will pass the task list model. So we will write task list colon list, and here we will specify the data type as a task list model. After that we will pass the context. So write internal where context colon context, and we will extend recycler view dot adapter, and in this bracket we will pass the holder class. So we will type task list adapter dot task view holder, which we will create it later on. Now first we will create task view holder class. So write inner class and type task view holder, which will take the view as an argument and which will extend view holder dot recycle view dot view holder, and here we will pass the view. Now this will show us the error because we have not done the bracket here, and now we have to implement the three methods. So error gone. Now let's bind our view to the recycler view. First we will initialize our list task list array. So write internal well task list colon list, which is the type of task list model, equal to array list. So we have initialized our task list. Whenever we create the object of task list, we have to bind this task list to this task list. So we will write init this dot task list equal to task list. So our list is bind. Now in this onCreateViewHolder method we will bind our view. So write well view equal to layout influencer dot from, and in this bracket we have to pass the context dot influence. Now here we have to pass the layout ID. So write r dot layout dot recycler. Here we have to first import the r recycler underscore task list. After that we have to pass the view group. So write parent, and at the end we have to pass the false, and we will return the view. So write return task view holder, and in this bracket we will pass this view. So our view is bind. Now whenever we call get item count, we have to return total item count. So here we will return task list dot size. So here we can see our view. Now let's create the object of this text view and this button. So here we will write var name colon text view equal to view dot find view by id, and here we have to pass the id. After that we will create the object of detail. So write text view. So write well detail colon text view equal to view dot find view by id, and here we will pass the id, and at the end we will create the object of edit button. So write val btn underscore edit, which is the type of button, equal to find view by id, and here we will pass the id of button. So we have created the objects. Now let's bind the object with our data. So here we will write well task equal to task list, and in this bracket we will pass the position. So we will get the task from this task list array of the specified position. Now we will set the data. So write holder dot name dot text equal to task dot name. Same as above, we will set the details. So write holder dot details dot text equal to task list dot details. And whenever user clicks on the edit button, we have to move to the user to the edit task activity. So here we will write the click event of edit button. So write holder dot btn edit dot set on click listener, and here we will set the intent val I equal to intent, and in this bracket we will pass the context first. After that we will pass the activity name. So in our case add text colon class.java. When user clicks on add button, we will open add task list activity, and when user clicks on edit button, then also we will open add task list activity. Now we have to identify that user want to edit the task or user want to add the new task. So here we will set the data for that. So write I dot put extra, and we will set the mode, and we will pass the value as E for edit. And if user open the activity in edit mode, then we have to pass the ID of the specific task. So we will pass task list dot ID. Now we will simply open this activity. So write context dot start activity, and we will pass the intent object. So we have successfully set up our adapter. Now let's go back to our main activity and bind this adapter and fetch the data from the database. I hope you understand all these things. Watch the tutorial till end and give your valuable comment in the comment section. Now here I have already created the object of recycle view and the add button. Now we will quickly see how to bind the recycle view with our adapter. First we have to create the object of adapter. So write well task list adapter colon task list adapter equal to null. Then second we have to create the object of database. So write db handler colon database helper is equal to null, and we will also specify the object of task list. So write task list colon list, which is the type of task list model, equal to array list, which is the type of task list model, and at the end we have to do the brackets. So we have created all the objects. Now whenever we want to do any database task, we have to first initialize it. So here we have to initialize the database object. So write db helper db handler equal to database helper, and in this bracket we have to pass the context. So we will pass this. Now we will create one method which will fetch the data, and it will set the data to our adapter. So write private fun fetch list. Now in this method first we will fetch the list. So write task list equal to db handler dot get all task, and here we have to do the nullable safe. So this get all task method will return all the tasks from the database. Now we have to bind the adapter. So write task list adapter equal to task list adapter. In this bracket, first we have to pass the list. So our list is task list. After that we have to pass the context. So we will write application context. Now we have to set the layout manager. So first we have to create the object of it. So write val linear layout manager colon linear layout manager equal to null. Now we have to initialize this layout manager. So write layout manager equal to linear layout manager, and in this bracket we have to pass the context. Now we have to set this layout manager to our recycle view. So write recycle view recycler underscore task dot layout manager equal to linear layout manager. Now we have to set the adapter. So write recycler underscore task dot adapter equal to task list adapter, and at the end we will notify the dataset. So write task list adapter dot notify dataset change, and we have to do the nullable safe here. So we have bind our view and we have fetched the data from database and display in this recycle view, and let's call this function here. Now as of now, if we run this code, we can't find any data because in our database there is no data inserted. Now let's write the code to insert the data. So here we have to create the click event of this btn edit. Now in this click event we will open the add task activity. So we will write val I equal to intent, and in this bracket we will pass the context first. After that we will write the add text activity colon, and we will start the activity. If you have any query, then comment below or DM us on Instagram. We will surely help you. Now let's write the code to insert the data. So in this activity I have already taken 2 edit text and 1 button to save the data, 1 for delete the data. So here we will quickly create the object of button and the edit text. Now to insert the data, first we have to create the object of our database. So write val db handler colon database helper is equal to null, and here we will initialize it. So write db handler equal to database handler, and in this bracket we have to pass the context. Now whenever user click on the add button, we will open this activity, and same as this, whenever user click on the edit button, we will open this activity. So here we have to identify that user want to insert the data or user want to update the data. For that we have to put one condition. So if intent is not equal to null and intent dot get string extra, and here we will pass the mode as a key, is equal to e, then user wants to update the data, else we have to insert new data. So here we will perform 2 operations, first for update and second for insert. So for that, first we will create one variable. So write val is edit mode colon boolean equal to false. Now when user comes to edit the data, we will set the isEditMode variable to true, and we will change the button name to update data, and we will set the delete button visibility to visible. And when user comes to insert the data, we will set the isEdit mode to false. After that, we will set the text as save data, and we will set the visibility of delete button to gone, because whenever user insert the data, we don't want a delete button. Now first we check how we can insert the data in our database. After that we will see how user can edit the data. So when user clicks on this save button, we will check that user comes for the insert or user wants to edit the record. So first we will check if isEdit mode is written true, then we have to update the data, else we have to insert the new data. So here we will write the query to insert the data. Before inserting the data, here we will create one variable to check that data is inserted successfully or not. So we will write success : boolean equal to false, and we will also create one variable for our task list model. So first we have to get the data. So we will write task list name equal to edit text name dot text dot toString, and second we will take the details. So edit text details dot text dot toString. So we have fetched the data in our task list model. Now we can do additionally that we will check that user have entered the data or not. But in this tutorial we are going to see the CRUD operation, so we will not cover the validation part. Now here we will write the query for insert. So write success equal to dbHandler dot add task, and in this bracket we will pass the task which we have created here, and we will get the return type as boolean. So if data is inserted, then we will get the true, else we will get the false. So this add task method will add the data to our database. Now below this we will check if success returns true, then we will move to the user to the main activity. So we will write intent application context, and here we will pass the main activity, and below this we will start the intent, and after that we don't want this activity, so we will call the finish method. And if success returns false, then we have to notify the user that data is not inserted. So I am printing the message in toast. So first we have to pass the context. After that we have to pass the message that something went wrong, and we will set the duration as length log, and we will display this toast. So we have done the insert operation. So now let's see how user can update the data. For update operation, first we have to fill the data with the previous record. So here we will create one variable for our task list, which is the type of task list model, and here we will fetch the data from the specified IB. So I am writing dbHelper.getTask, and here we have to pass the ID which we have passed in this intent. So write intent dot get int extra, and here we will pass the key, and here we will pass the default ID. So we will fetch all the record in this task variable. Now we have to set this. So write edit text name dot set text, and here we will pass the text. So write task list dot name, and same as this we will also set the detail data. When user clicks on this save button, first we will check that user wants to edit the data. If this returns true, then here we will take the ID of this particular record. So we will set this ID to our task list ID. So write task.id equal to intent.get int extra, and here we will pass the id as a key and we will pass the default value as 0. Now below this we will fetch the name. So write task.name equal to edit text name dot text dot toString. Same as this we will fetch the details. So edit text details dot text dot toString. I hope you have understand this update logic. Now we will write the query here that success equal to dbHandler dot update task, and here we will pass the task list model and we will take the return type as boolean. So if the task updated, it will return the true in this success variable. And now at the end we will see the delete operation. For that, when user clicks on the delete button, we have to delete the record. So write btn delete dot set on click listener. Now when user clicks on the delete button, first we have to ask the user that if you want to delete this record. If user clicks on the yes button, then we have to delete the record, else we have to dismiss the dialog. So we will take the dialog. So write val dialog equal to alert dialog dot builder, and in this bracket we have to pass the context. After that we have to pass the title. So write set title info, and we will set the message click yes if you want to delete the task, and we will set the positive button as yes, and if user clicks on this yes button, then we will perform the delete operation. So write dialog comma I val success equal to dbHandler dot delete task, and here we have to pass the task id which we can fetch from this intent. So write intent dot get int extra, and here we have to pass the id, and at the end we have to pass the default value, and we will return the task as boolean. Now if success returns true, then we will finish the activity and we will dismiss the dialog. Now if user clicks on this negative button, then we have to abort the operation. So write dialog comma I, and here we have to dismiss the dialog. Now if you don't know how to create alert dialog, and if you want to learn alert dialog in detail, then check out this video. We have make a tutorial in detail. You can find the link in the description box, and at the end we will show the dialog. So dialog dot show. So we have done all the things. First we have checked the select all records. After that we have checked the insert operation. After that we have checked the update and delete operation. So now let's run the application and see the output. If you have any query, DM us on Instagram or comment below. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe our channel and give your valuable feedback in the comment section. So as we can see, our app is running. Now here we cannot see anything because we have not inserted the data in this app. Now let's click on this insert task button and insert the new record. So here I am typing the task name as video upload, and here we have to specify the details. Now we will click on this save button. So here we can see our data is inserted to our database. Now let's click on this edit button and let's edit this record. So here we will add some text. Now let's click on this update data button. So we can see our data is updated. Now we will see the delete operation. So here we want to click on this edit button, and after clicking on this edit button we will appear to the edit screen. Now let's click on this delete button. So here we can see the confirmation pop-up that will ask that if we want to delete the data If we click on this yes button, then record is deleted successfully, else it will dismiss the dialog. I hope you like this tutorial. Thank you guys for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Do support. You will find this code. Link is given in the description box. Thank you.